Okay, good evening, members of council, members of our management team. We do have 8 attendees that have logged on as of 4 p.m. It's a beautiful day here in the town of Stephen. I'd like to also welcome our guests into our lobby here. Thanks for being here at our public meeting. We don't often get people. We like to get people in our lobby. I just want to say that. So I would ask a member of council, I'll call the meeting to order, that we, before we get going, we'll do the land acknowledgement, which is so very important. We respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Item number 3, I would ask a member of council that we adopt the agenda as circulated.
Move.
Moved by Councillor Darren Roberts, second Councillor Maurice Hines, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. Approval of our minutes 3 weeks ago. We're on the 3-week schedule now. Just out of curiosity, we do 3 weeks in the summer, but the city of Cornwall, they do once a month. Just saying, some of them.
But it's actually the way the scheduling works. Your next meeting is 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And then it goes to 3.
Okay.
July, starting in July.
Okay, sounds good. So be it resolved that the minutes of May 15, 2025 public meeting of council be approved. I ask a member of council to approve. Motion.
I approve.
Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow.
Second.
Motion second by Councillor Myra White. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? They were circulated by our town clerk. It is the duty of all councillors to read minutes, agenda items of all planning and finance that we prepared for the meetings, and I know you're all doing that. Give me all the nods now. Okay, got the nods. Okay, no matters arising from those minutes. We're going to do a very important proclamation for our community. And before I get going, I got to say that we are blessed because of the infrastructure that was left here by the U.S. Air Force with ball fields, the YMCA that used to refer to as the base gym. And there's a couple of sports that actually resonated within the community, most in particular from what I hear from my studies, is that baseball. Baseball wasn't big when the Americans arrived here. Soccer was probably the bigger sport. We were part of the colonialism, I guess, at the time. But the American baseball players and the people in Stephenville and area became some of the top baseball athletes. And I'm going to pivot to my left here to Mr. Billy Hines and his family, and everybody knows the work that Billy has done in his career as a professional athlete in baseball. I remember you more as that goaltender, but I'm sure baseball was a big one for you. So we want to thank you for all you've done and all you've mentored and coached over the years. So we do have an active recreation department, thanks to our manager, Marissa. And we are now advertising for a second position in recreation because we are that active and busy. So I'm going to go ahead and sign the proclamation. And I would then ask Marissa, our manager of recreation, to come up. We'll get a photo up and we'll get it promoted on our website. So, Proclamation Recreation Month. Whereas the community of Stephenville recognizes that recreation enhances quality of life, active living, lifelong learning, helps people to live happier and longer, develops creativity, and builds healthy bodies and positive lifestyles. Whereas recreation provides opportunities for personal growth and development for people of all abilities and can be especially helpful to people living with disabilities. Whereas our parks, open spaces, and trails ensure ecological sustainability, provide space to enjoy nature, help maintain clean air and water, and preserve plant and animal wildlife. Whereas recreation is an important contributor to the community economic development, which creates jobs, fosters tourism, and makes communities more attractive places in which to live, learn, work, and play. Therefore, the community of Stephenville is in here. My penmanship's not the best, but it is legible somewhat. Therefore, the community of Stephenville does hereby proclaim the month of June to be Recreation Month. Signed this 5th day of June in the year 2025. The town of Stephenville. And I'll go and sign on behalf of this great council. Okay, so Marissa, if I could get you up. You want to get?
Sure, yeah, I'll just turn right this way, and I'll see if I can get the council.
Smart.
You get a picture of Billy into it too.
No, just get your move over.
Stand on the table.
Back up your chair a bit. And Laura, can you just back up your chair a little bit?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Get my chair.
Vibrations. You still got a little billions.
Mr. Recreation.
Yes. Okay, Councilor O'Brien just came up with merrily. Can we get Marissa and get Billy back up?
Yeah.
Good.
How about let's get a picture up here?
This is down in the hallway.
See if we can catch her.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll bring back the proclamation.
I would, what is called trades.
I know.
And different rights.
I'll give a special key.
It was said, but I don't think mayor, but.
Yeah, there you go. We never have one.
Yeah.
There's only one.
This can be funny picture.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Also, I can listen to that.
You want to?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Deputy Mayor Susan Fowler.
I just want to, as well, even though the Pride Committee in this area celebrates, does their celebration stuff in September, just a note that it is Pride Month as well in June. And so I think that's important for us to recognize as a town that is diverse and embraces everybody. You know, that we recognize that this is Pride Month as well.
And I guess for myself as the mayor of this great town, that I will go on record to say there's probably not another town, this province is as inclusive as Stephenville is in support of different cultures and backgrounds. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to our finance committee. We don't have a long agenda. Make it as long as anybody wants to speak.
I can slow
I'm not saying we're gonna have a filibuster here. Oh, I'm getting the look from Councilor O'Brien's no filibusters here today. But anyways, I'll turn it over to our Chair of Finance, Councilor Myra White.
Thank you. Item number 71, which is accounts payable. Be it resolved to approve accounts payable for June the 5th, 2025 in the amount of $646,866.52 as presented. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.2 expense checks. Be it resolved to approve expense checks for the May 2025 in the amount of $403,362.98. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Laura Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.3 business tax. Be it resolved to approve business tax write-offs in the amount of $251.25. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor? Carried.
7.4 remission of tax. Be it resolved to approve remission of tax in the amount of $468.02. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.5 approval of purchase public sector procurement program. Be it resolved to approve to purchase public sector procurement program in the amount of $6,800 plus tax to support employee professional development in accordance with job requirements. I so move.
By Councilor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts.
Just probably, a little explanation on this program, and
Okay, the public sector procurement program is a designation, and what the organization has chosen to do. We have one of our staff who is now had this assigned duties to her role. And on that basis, this will be one individual going through that program, but it will benefit the whole organization to get our procurement activities to match the requirements under the public procurement office of the government of Newfoundland. So there were instances in the past where we didn't keep the files properly. And we were under an audit, and that audit will continue in the fall. So some of those errors and omissions now will fall to the role of the person who has this responsibility. And this training should be completed, I think, by the late fall. So it's a part of professionalizing the process, making sure that everything is followed according to the requirements of the Public Procurement Act.
One quick question to our CAO. Is this a new type of training that has come out since the municipal act changed?
Not specifically, although a lot of the people who are in public procurement throughout the province are enrolled in or have this designation. On a number of our sister towns in the province do have people with this designation. And as well, there is another designation which this also contributes to, which is called the SCMP designation, which is Supply Chain Management Professional. And that one is the next level after. This one sometimes is just by itself. Other times but these courses contribute to that Supply Chain Management Professional designation.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, for the next one, I need to step back. I sit on the board.
Okay.
Did you vote on this?
Did we vote on this?
No, we didn't. So
We didn't. First,
we have a motion and a seconder. All in favor on the item number 6?
Aye.
5.
Carry. Okay, so we've noticed that Councillor Maurice Hines has stepped away from the table, identifying he's just on the board of directors. So
7.6 request for grant, Hillside Interfaith Cemetery. Be it resolved to approve a grant to the Hillside Interfaith Cemetery in the amount of $15,000. I so move.
moved by Councillor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Councillor Darren Roberts. Question? I just want to say, just for clarity, that this is an annual disbursement that we make every year to this committee. It's what's the term I'm looking for? Multi.
Multi-denomination.
Yeah. And the committee does some phenomenal work, even the cemetery in high quality standards. And it is supported by the town of Tippins. And so it is a joint effort between two municipalities on it. So all in favor? Carried. Okay, Councillor Maurice Hines, you can return to the table.
I'm gonna slow it down by letting, wait until your seat.
I know it's a bit of time getting over.
7.7, approval to award purchase 2025 triple X trailer. Be it resolved to purchase 2025 triple X trailer from the GD Equipment Limited in the amount of $23,686 plus HST ISOMO.
Moved by Councillor Myra White, second Councillor Laura Aylward, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
7.8, approval to award purchase 2025 mini excavator. Be it resolved to purchase 2025 Hitachi ZX50U-5N mini excavator with a 5-year warranty from Wajax Limited in the amount of $110,000 plus HST ISOMO.
Councillor Myra White, second.
Second.
Just one little question. I'm not sure if management has the answer that we did talk about, I believe, that anytime we were looking for procurement equipment or supplies and services. Remember, we're still in an economic trade war with the US. They have now, I believe, doubled the initial tariffs on our aluminum and steel. That has a negative impact on businesses in Canada. And especially in our the province of Ontario, which represents 60% of the GDP of our country. It is a big economic engine, and there's a lot of companies and layoffs that's happening. And the quick question I have, any idea if this was built in Canada?
So the triple axle trailer has been sourced from Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Nova Scotia was the lowest bidder on that. Was a Newfoundland bidder the first go round, but and again the second, but the pricing was so much better on the one that we secured there. We think it is locally made.
Okay.
That was the way it was explained to me.
Okay.
I can't certify that yet, but
Yeah.
the other one, the 2025 mini excavator is a local Newfoundland company. Hitachi is a Japanese made item, and Hitachi, what we are told is the pricing is very competitive now in the market, and their pricing is really, really good. A lot of the companies are purchasing Hitachi equipment because they have a price advantage. So that's helpful for us because, you know, it hit both ends of that.
And that was a
Well,
good price for that size.
Yeah, it is.
Mini excavator.
And both of them were part of our new procurement person's first activities related to that. So that was really good too. And it was well done process.
When you take, we're buying a piece of equipment, heavy, not heavy, but to some degree it is, yeah. You know, a pickup truck is $100,000 now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, so all in favor? Carry.
7.9, approval to sign prime consultant agreement. Be it resolved to enter into the prime consultant agreement with Unglobe Corp in the amount of $205,036.34, HSTs included, for project number 17-RNC-22-00016, Minnesota Drive Roundabout.
Okay, moved by Councillor Myra, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councillor Maurice Hines, all in favor? Carry.
Item 7.10, change orders. 10.1, be it resolved to approve change order number 1 for project 17 GI-24-00025 Russell Heights in the amount of $3,277.50, HST included. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Counselor Darren Roberts, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
10.2, be it resolved to approve change order number 2 for project number 17-GI-24-00025 Russell Heights in the amount of $57,829.38. HST is included. I so move.
Moved by Counselor Myra White, second by Counselor Laura Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
That 10.3, be it resolved to approve change order number 1 for project number 17GL-23-00069 Main Street reconstruction in the amount of $85,016.05. HST included. I so move.
By Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Darren Roberts, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
10.4, be it resolved to approve change order number 2 for project number 17-GL-23-00069 Main Street reconstruction in the amount of $5,423.75. HST included. I so move.
By Counselor Myra White, second.
Second.
Second, Counselor Darren. I just want to speak before I call for the final vote. We are very, very fortunate, I believe, municipal capital works project that started in the month of April. I can't remember the last time we started so early. I got to give credit to our engineering department and public works director, Ira Barter, for handling this file along with management team. But the infrastructure that we're replacing is approximately 70 years old. And I'm surprised it lasted so long, but they say the engineers 70 years ago were pretty good too. They must have been. So I know we did get a little bit of feedback from some of the businesses in the community that it has been difficult at times, with mobility issues and getting to certain areas, especially banking and stuff like that. But this is short-term pain for long-term gain. We're going to end up with a better Main Street, and it'll benefit, and it'll create hopefully higher trade on Main Street because of the work we're going to do there. So in the long term, this will work out to benefit the community.
On these change orders, just to understand, these are based on the 80-20 formula. So the amounts are the amounts that are total, and we will actually be paying 20% of these amounts in each of the 2 projects, right? And the other part of that is and part of the explanation for them is that they are for quantity adjustments, which is not always determined until such time as they've dug up the ground and determined that there may be some additions. We don't think there'll be any more, but you never know what you're going to uncover when you're doing these. So that's the case. Quantity adjustments, and also every once in a while you got to add something like a catch basin or something like that, and that's what one of them is as well.
Okay, so for 10-4, all in favor? Carried.
That was the last item.
Okay, nothing late for finance from management? No? Okay, so item number 8, we have a bylaw. It's regulations and policies. And this is an arrears sale by law, which is something that we may get a short, brief interpretation from our CAO. But pursuant to the authority conferred in the Towns and Local Service Districts Act, Section 7, be it resolved that the Town Council of Stephenville adopt ARERA's sale by law. I would ask a member of council to move.
So
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow. Second, Councilor Morgan Sines. Maybe just
Okay, I can give an explanation. So under the new Towns and Local Services District Act, there are 5 and in some cases 6 required bylaws. This is the first one that we have processed through. We will update 5 others, is my understanding, over the course of the next while. All of them have been prepared. Some of them are subject to further internal review. This one we feel is now ready to go forward. All of the elements of the bylaw are actually in the act. The bylaw gives force for the town to be able to take these particular actions. So it's a requirement under the new act, and it's a go forward. So in the adoption of the act and us functioning under the act, this is a requirement. So go forward with this one, and that'll give us the opportunity to utilize it if necessary. There are some changes, some subtle changes, where in the past, arrears could be a judgment of council. In this case, it's now going to be such that arrears sales are a requirement based on having hit 18 months in arrears on any property. There's a shall requirement for the clerk to draft a notice and have that process through council and then have it issued. So for those who are taxpayers who are in arrears for more than 18 months, this is an automatic requirement that we then follow that process.
Okay, good explanation. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry. Okay, anything late on planning? Nothing? Okay, item number 9, unfinished business. Any councilors have anything on unfinished business? Okay, how about new business?
Mr. Mayor, as
Councilor?
I assume everybody heard, it's concerning with the incident happened to our firefighters. Hey,
Yes.
it's incomprehensible to hear about that, what's happening in Steamboat. We're getting shot at with the air and if anything. And I hope these people get charged with the full extent of the law, penalized accordingly. It's really disgusting.
I got briefed today on severity of it, or it could have been an escalation of severity. And anytime a projectile, whether it's unfortunately, good thing that it wasn't a bullet, but still a projectile, whether it's a BB or a pellet, a Nerf ball, or the different applications of paintballs and stuff like that. Should that hit somebody, whether it's a temple, here in the jugular, in the eye, it could have severe and permanent damage. And